kind of love, and it made Meadow start to look at her own life and how it had always been completely lacking in that department. Heath was a wonderful father to Star, but getting married purely because she was pregnant had been a stupid decision. They had never had a romantic relationship. They'd simply been two best friends who'd raised Star together. A few years after Star was born, they'd separated, at Meadow's insistence, so that Heath could live like any other man in his early 20s, date other women, lead the life he should have had if they hadn't married. He and River had built the tree houses next door, and he'd moved in so he could always be close to his daughter. He had dated, and that was totally fine, but she had never wanted to. A movement caught her eye, and she looked over to the top of the steps that led up from Pear Tree Beach. There was a topless man walking through the trees, evidently wet from having a swim, and although she couldn't see the man's face as it was hidden under the leaves of a tree, she knew who it was. Her heart and body responding to him before her brain could even identify him. Bear Brookfield, Heath's youngest brother, and the man she'd been in love with for probably most of her life. Young Meadow had just 2 dreams, according to the diary she'd found: become a fashion designer and married Bear Brookfield. He came into view, and he immediately looked up, maybe instinctively knowing she was there too. He flashed her a big smile and a wave, and she waved back. She couldn't take her eyes off him as he walked back to his own home, his broad shoulders, his strong muscular arms, his tanned skin wet from the sea. He was beautiful. There was no denying it, but her love for him went way deeper than that. There were a few reasons why she hadn't wanted to date before now, but Bear was one of those reasons, or rather several of them. He had broken her heart when she was 17, when he'd slept with Millie Atherton, the girl who'd made her life a living hell at school, and she'd never wanted to put her heart out there again, for fear of getting hurt. But despite that, she'd never, ever stopped loving him. He had been her first kiss, what felt like a lifetime ago, but she was 100% sure he had never thought of that kiss again like she had, especially after what had happened with Millie Atherton, and he just saw her as his friend, nothing more. But maybe it was time to move on. Having seen how happy River and Indigo were together, she decided it was time to find her own happiness. Her divorce to Heath had finally come through a few weeks before, and now felt as good a moment as any to let go of the heartache of the past and move on once and for all. She finished her coffee and went back inside to finish getting ready for the day. Chapter 2. Smoking or non-smoking? Heath asked as he tapped away at Bear's computer. Sounds like I'm looking for a hotel room rather than someone I'm hoping to spend the rest of my life with. I just want someone lovely. Is there not a box for that? Meadow said, finishing the details of a booking on her own computer. You'd think there would be, but sadly you have to answer a million stupid questions, and then Connected Hearts will supposedly find your dream match. Do you care if they smoke or not? Heath said. Meadow sighed. I suppose I prefer it if they didn't. This is the point of all this. If you're looking for someone to have a bit of fun with, then none of this stuff matters. But if you're looking for someone to be your soulmate, your husband, your life partner, then why not be picky? You don't want to settle. You want the perfect man. And I'm not saying they have to be exactly 6'3", weigh exactly 15 stone of pure muscle, have blue eyes, be a heart surgeon and speak 5 languages kind of perfect. But if something like them smoking turns you off, then you should absolutely put that on your dating profile. Okay, Meadow said doubtfully. This all seems so convoluted. Surely people didn't really meet their soulmates through online dating. What was wrong with walking into a pub and your eyes and meeting with the handsome strangers across the room? Although she hadn't actually been in a pub without Heath or Star for a long time, or ever met anyone in that way. As your ex-husband, I have no right to tell you who to date. I want someone who is kind and respectful to you and Star, but other than that I have no stipulations. But I have to say, I would prefer whoever you end up with didn't smoke around our daughter. We manage her asthma really well right now with her inhalers, and she's never had an attack, but I wouldn't want it to be aggravated by someone who smokes. No, I agree with that, Meadow said. It's just that some of these questions seem so petty, like that one on ethnicity. Do people really choose a life partner depending on the colour of their skin?